Donald Trump is now ordering his own Department of Justice to investigate his own past with Jeffrey Epstein. Just keep in mind, the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanch was Donald Trump's personal lawyer just a year ago during the campaign and a little bit after. Pam Bondi is someone who said that the Epstein files were sitting on her desk and then admitted that she was lying just a few months later. The new emails that we got between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell undermine the interview that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanch did with Ghislaine just a few months back before she was moved to a minimum security prison. The point here is, this Department of Justice is not only far from reliable, their reliability is like deep in the depths of hell. They are so incredibly unreliable that this is just a blatant cover-up. When you read a headline like, Trump says he's asking Justice Department to investigate Epstein's ties to a slew of high-profile figures, it's like if O.J. Simpson was like, I'm going to start investigating who killed my wife. Or it's like when a cop beats a suspect and they're like, our department is going to investigate what went wrong here. And then a few months later, the department comes out like, we investigated ourselves and nobody did anything wrong. How about you just do what we've been asking for, which is transparency this entire time? Before we even dig into this, let's go through a little bit of MAGA cope and let's check out what Donald Trump is saying on Truth Social right now, because he didn't post for 24 hours, which is a uniquely long time for this dude who was constantly reposting stuff, calling for Obama to be in jail, saying that Biden was asleep throughout his entire presidency and it nullifies every executive order he signed. And, the Republicans on Truth Social are beginning to call him on his shit. Really quickly, check out this video of Tim Pool just coping, hardcore coping over what's going on here. I've never seen such cope. Tim Pool is the worst.
Maybe he actually knew behind the scenes that Trump was asked by the FBI about Epstein, snitched on him, and the FBI said, what about other guys? And Trump was like, I'll give you everything. Could you imagine if it turns out that Trump has Mar-a-Lago bugged? So when powerful people come from meetings, he records it and sends it off to the feds. What would happen to Mar-a-Lago were that the case?
The cope from Tim Pool is insane. Maybe Trump just hung out with a bunch of pedophiles because he was spying on the pedophiles. I'm sorry, bro. Welcome to reality. Donald Trump is one of the pedophiles. Remember, Hillary Clinton got pizza one time in 2015, and then there were a decade of conspiracies about her sucking the blood out of children in pizza parlors. Yet Donald Trump is in more photos of Epstein and himself than I have of me and my grandpa, and apparently that is not enough evidence of them doing things. And then on top of that, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were pointing at women. Epstein emailed Ghislaine Maxwell saying that he has leverage over Trump and that Trump was salivating over certain women that were in the pool. His nose was rubbing up against the glass, that Donald Trump knew about what was happening because women were being groomed out of his Mar-a-Lago spa. Yet Tim Pool is sitting here coping.
I'm not saying it's true. I don't know for sure. What I can say is this is a big distraction. And where we are going right now as a country, it is, demoralizing to see.
Whose leadership are we under right now? Whose leadership is demoralizing you, Tim Pool? I'm demoralized too by the relentless ICE raids. I'm demoralized by the fact that our government is likely covering up a pedophile cabal. I'm not even saying that as like a conspiracy theorist. It just seems like Trump is legitimately freaking out about all of this. I'm pretty demoralized by the tariff war that our president haphazardly started that my generation will likely have to deal with because he's weakening alliances with many, many countries that we should be strengthening alliances with. We shouldn't be attacking Canada and Mexico. Those are like our bros. I mean, if you have some problem with a country, which is fine, you can call them in a diplomatic manner because they respect the United States. We command respect on the global stage, but that's not what Trump's doing. He's shitting all over the desk of every single country via tariffs, just like those January 6ers did to Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump said early this morning, now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax, involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and not him. This is another Russia scam. So this is scary stuff. Donald Trump is in a corner So he's beginning to weaponize the Department of Justice openly. You're not supposed to ask the Department of Justice to do anything, first of all, but he's asking them to go after specific people's connections to Jeffrey Epstein. This is the definition of guilty until proven innocent. He is listing names that he wants his DOJ to go after for a Jeffrey Epstein connection because he wants to divert attention away from the fact that he and Jeffrey Epstein were best buddies, that Donald Trump was in Jeffrey Epstein's emails. His name was littered throughout Epstein's emails as Epstein was talking about how vile Trump is as a human being, how Trump knew about everything and allowed it to happen in his Mar-a-Lago spa. I am sick of the erasing of history from this administration, not only regarding January 6th and elections, but every single topic they tried to divert attention away. Not this one. We're going to continue to talk about the timeline and how unreliable Attorney General Pam Bondi's investigation will be. Not even Republicans, not even the most diehard of MAGA will believe Attorney General Pam Bondi, in my opinion. President Donald Trump said Friday he's asking AG Bondi to investigate Epstein's ties to many other high-profile figures in an extraordinary step that comes just days after Democrats released emails from the late Epstein that mention him. Trump announced the directive in a Truth Social post that accused Democrats of trying to revive attention to his past ties with Epstein, contending that they are, quote, using the Epstein hoax to deflect attention from the disastrous shutdown. Here's the thing. The shutdown is still going to bite Trump in the ass. The ACA subsidies are still set to expire next month in December. When the ACA subsidies expire, people who are paying attention are going to blame the party that voted against the extension of the subsidies. I have a friend whose mom is reliant on the ACA subsidies, but she didn't know that. She didn't understand that until about 2 weeks ago, till this shutdown happened. Now she's hyper-fixated. She's apolitical, and she's waiting to see in December who votes no, and it's very obvious which party is going to vote no. Donald Trump is incredibly desperate. Let's check the comments of some of his Truth Social posts. I mean, when you sort the comments by the newest, someone says huge, someone says liar. You are an evil, pitiful man. You do not deserve to be the leader of our country. Vindictive and dishonest. Using the word hoax as related to Epstein's child sex abuse, trafficking, and sex slavery is disgraceful insult to every victim and every American. Release the client list. Hey, pedophile Pete, better watch what you ask for. I mean, since when was the Epstein files a hoax? The Trump campaign said he would release the files. Release the files. This is not going to go well for Donald Trump. I think Democrats need to focus on a few issues. Epstein and affordability. Affordability is something that people feel every single day, that I feel every single day. Electricity prices are skyrocketing. Energy prices are skyrocketing. I don't think Donald Trump has been in a grocery store his entire life. The average American goes to the grocery store every week or every 2 weeks to restock on groceries, and they see those prices increasing. Donald Trump promised the exact opposite, so affordability is a big one. Healthcare premiums spiking is going to loop perfectly into affordability. I mean, I know that it's harsh to say, but it's bad politically for Republicans, and they're going to allow it to happen. Secondly, the Epstein files, affordability and the Epstein files, because the Epstein files shine a light on the lack of transparency coming from this administration, which can then be translated to affordability. Because remember, this admin has refused to release economic numbers for the past 2 to 3 months. We are currently steering blind with a lack of economic data because this admin is so embarrassed, and affordability is only going to get worse. The Epstein problem is only going to bite Trump in the ass more. If you want more updates, double check to make sure you're subscribed. Like this video. Drop a blue heart if you made it this far. Love you all. Peace out.